What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning on the left side of the map, in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is I Bring Life. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Suppe. Suppe the Great, Suppe the Tasty. Suppe the fiddling with his ox cart just a little bit here. Bit of a build order improvisation, if I do say so myself. We'll see how things are going to go in this game. I did come up with the idea that you actually want to put 3 villagers on wood first as Odin, and then put 2 villagers on gold. But Suppe takes that one further and goes 2 villagers on wood, 2 villagers on gold, such that his ox cart can come out. And he doesn't have to do too much walking time here. Though he did have a little bit there, but you know, it is what it is. It's all about the ox cart shenanigans in the early game. We do see that Suppe's also found early game here Shelty's priest. And Shelty's going to be sad about that. He's finished his obelisk over here and he's like, what else is going to happen? I can't see anything else. But this is a really nice map here for Isis players and for Egyptian players alike. When you get this spawn of food, where you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 caribou, you do the math, that's a lot of food. It's more than enough to get very spicy with your Anubites. Now, this villager is being really silly, but you know, it is what it is. But if you've got yourself 1,000 food in your main base as Isis, maybe even 900 food, I think, if you're empowering the granary for the entirety of it. But if you've got 900 food in your starting base, you can actually do 2 Monument 430 advance time into Anubites. And on a map like Frozen Wastes, it's really hard to wall up and defend all your resources. Not only that, all the food is going to be exposed on the map. You see you've got some walrus here behind the trees. You got some elk over here in front of the town center. I think it's going to be really tough here if that build is decided to go for by the Isis player. But there's also a whole bunch of other builds you can do because of all of the goats you have and the fact you've got these barriers as well. Now, one of the biggest weaknesses with Isis is that a lot of Isis players, and for good reason, but a lot of Isis players, they want to go for a fast heroic, and they want to be able to be eating all of this hunt and finish this hunt off. And if they can finish this hunt, happy days. They're going to be super far ahead. But the thing is that against every top player nowadays, you're actually going to get pushed off of that hunt very early on in the game. So it's much better. You can have a lot better of a time to actually sit in your base and eat these berry bushes, get yourself husbandry, and then go on to the herdables here, which is what we're going to see Shelty do. Is why he's gone for such early wood here. And essentially, what this means is that Shelty is telegraphing that he wants to go 1 town center fast heroic. Anything else doesn't make sense with this with these early villages. If you want to go for a classical fight, you should not put villagers on wood until you're advancing. Because you want to be putting pressure on as soon as you possibly can. Now, we do see a very forward temple here from Suppe. Now, things might change here for Shelty. When you see your opponent do something a little bit weird, like a forward temple, oftentimes you can see the Egyptian players might want to think about going for more of an aggressive classical fight here to stop all of that. But Suppe's got some interesting plans for this game. Now, there is monument protection here, so if Suppe decides that he wants to go for Heimdall, which he is going to go for, I don't think that this tower is going to be able to be hit here. It's in range of this monument, so he shouldn't be able to take that down with the undermine. So this gold mine should be relatively safe, at least in the early stages here, though Shelty is going up very slow here. Very slow, but it's a normal advance time for a fast heroic, and he's deciding to go through Anubis here. So this is maybe a reaction to what he's seen. Maybe going to be good, maybe going to be bad. We'll have to wait and see, but things are looking very scary here for Shelty. He's going to be casting Prosperity. Oh, and he can actually hit this with Undermine. Will it take down the tower? Yes, it does. Life is going to be very tough here for Shelty as the Herso comes in. He's going to be pulling a whole bunch of villagers off of that gold mine there. The Undermine keeps going until it hits 0, and now the Anya is hitting onto this location here. The villagers coming in, trying to shank down that Einhjar there as the that Hursa there as the Einhjar is going to get taken down as well. But Longhouse is coming down now as well as more units coming out of this one. Going to give Shelty just a little bit of time here to get sorted this villager hit. Nice marker there from Shelty, keeping that one alive as the Einhjar will indeed fall. More priests coming out here. We've got tons of priests now for Shelties. He's in full panic mode. He's not going to be on the hunt. He has hit the next age now though, so he can start harassing these Hursa. He's got one monument. He's gone through Anubis here with one monument, so this Anubite is literally it for him. He will have access to Plague of Serpents, and he is going to be dropping himself a barracks here with Soup on the forward location here. The speedy production that Egyptians have can be enough to win these early game fights. So we'll see if we'll see how Shelty's going to go here as Soup is moving around, trying to figure out exactly what he's going to do. This barracks here looking a little bit worse for wear as Soup says, you are not allowed this one. I'm not going to allow you to get this up, and I'm going to delay every single one of your production units for a little bit more. As the priest starting to get harassed, he can actually gate this, move on to the other side, and be okay. But the villagers getting pulled off here. We see Plague of Serpents getting dropped. 2 villagers down, and it looks like Soup is going to have to retreat back here, losing another Hursa just about from that one there, as we are also seeing this Anubite getting very, very spicy in the main base of Soup while this is all going on. But it looks to me like Shelty has managed to hold his home gold mine for the time being, as these villagers get a little bit confused about what their job in this game is. They should be gathering resources, but they are losing their life, and that's completely fine. There's now this Plague of Serpents starting to get taken down. These Hursa do a lot of damage because the Plague of Serpents, they are technically considered to be myth units. As the Anubite also goes down, it picks off 1 or 2 villagers, just the one villager here, I think, maybe 2, but a good trade there for Soup. 100%. This village is so low HP, and it looks like it's going to get sniped there. Nice play by Soup. Soup's putting in so much good pressure onto Shelty here in this game, as the villagers have to retreat off of this gold mine. And right now we've got Shelty onto Herdables at this point, and more villagers falling as Soup is pushing through here, absolutely murdering Shelty's villagers here. Shelty has nothing left at this point. He's at 33 population compared to Soup is at 51 population. But Soup might be overcommitting here just a little bit as another villager falling. Soup basically has to retreat and just be like, okay, let's just make sure we're not going to straight lose this one. We see another Avenger out here as these villagers are on this food location. It looks like Shelty managed to build 1 here. So that's going to be some pressure over here that he's going to have to deal with. But units retreating back. Soup's at 40 population. Shelty's at 40. So somehow, some way, the population difference is actually equal here, as the villagers are going to be retreating as the Hursa wants to come over here and say, please leave me alone. And the villagers will be able to eat this walrus here for the time being. But this is a spicy little moment for Soup in this game. He's got such a huge villager advantage at this point, but right now this one Anubite is distracting so many of these villagers that this is all going to come down to what Shelty can do to try and bring himself back into this game, because Shelty's got an army advantage right now for whatever reason, and he needs to pick off a whole bunch of villagers to get back into this game effectively. You can see 7 villagers on food, 4 villagers on wood, 5 villagers on gold. Soup, on the other hand, 6 villagers on wood, 6 villagers on gold, with a whole bunch of villagers here getting taken down. So things are very, very spicy in this game, as everyone's just losing villagers left, right, and center. The Anubite does get sort of surrounded there. You do have to be careful not to overcommit onto Egyptian myth units, because especially when there's priests and pharaohs involved, because they're just going to get healed back up to full HP. So you want to make sure that you're going to completely kill that unit off most of the time. As the army going to be moving in, looking to jump straight onto this wood line, it would seem here, as the ox cart over here going to get taken down. More units coming out over here. The throwing axeman going to look to try and take down this gold mine, but Shelty's over here. Shelty doesn't care. He's like, I've found my gold mine. It's hard to find. You're not going to see it. I mean, there is a raven flying over here, but nonetheless. So the unit's going to sit on this wood line for the time being. These villagers can just move on to straggler trees for the time being. Will come over here, maybe get himself watchtowers. Exactly what he is going to be doing here, is the army has to retreat now. These Egyptian units cannot survive under tower fire for long enough, so they have to retreat. As more units coming out, we see some Herso coming through, the raiding cavalry coming in, checking out this gold mine, seeing nothing on there. They have to realize, or Soup has to realize that there has to be a gold mine operation happening somewhere. And this Raven here is the perfect unit to spot it out. Check here, check here, check here, check here. And then over here and over here, he does have this one under lock, but you're going to see these units coming in. Those throwing axemen get absolutely massacred by the slingers. Nice micro here by Shelty, getting those spearmen onto the raiding cavalry as the units coming in on the back over here. The Hearse are going to be doing some good amounts of damage at this point. If we take a quick look at the army size, Soup's at 51 population. Shelty is at 56 population. As the Pharaoh here getting taken out nice and quick. The throwing axemen need to get focus fired here, as the Pharaoh falling is a big DPS hit to the Egyptian army here, and Soup knows that. He's trying to pick this one off. 4.0 speed is enough, though, to retreat away, and will be able to keep that one alive with the 1 HP, but the raiding cavalry spot that, take that one down. But Soup's now going to drop down to a ton of very, very low population. 54 population for Shelty, and Soup's at 33 in absolute shambles here, as I guess the Anubite will be able to come back in here and start putting more and more pressure on. After all is said and done, somehow, some way, Shelty brings this game back into an advantageous position for himself here. He's lost a ton of villagers in the early game, but it seems to me that the villager losses for Soup are just as bad. He has lost tons himself here, as more Anubites going to be coming out. Do we see a second monument up for Shelty? I don't think we do. He's still on one monument, so just the one monument. He's going to be getting himself Feed of the Jackal here. And that's going to help his Anubites out a ton at this point, as the temple is going to get taken down. We see another longhouse coming up over here as the villagers moving over onto this location. Shelty is too smart. He knows. He gets here straight away. He's checking the town center, seeing what's happening over here. He sees 7 villagers, and Soup doesn't even manage. He manages to get 45 food from that elk, as he has to retreat all the way back to his home base. If we take a good look at what's in Soup's main base, he does have these berries here, which probably would have been a better idea to jump onto, and then just go for the safe farms here. But maybe Soup feels like he's too far behind, and he wants to get a little bit more of that that Norse advantage, that hunting advantage that comes from being Odin. But he just gets absolutely punished for that one there, as the army pushing in onto this location now, as Soups just says, I gotta fight. Let me try and kill you as best as I can. The raiding cavalry swinging around the back here, trying to take down these medium slingers. And while the raiding cavalry do counter slingers, there's just too many of them. So 3 raiding cavalry is just not going to really be enough here. You need to have, I don't know, at least half as many raiding cavalry as you do slingers to take them out, I guess. But he does get some good trades here at the very least, as the rest of these Norse units are going to be falling. Soup's at 37 population still, as Shelty is slowly creeping ahead here in the resource count. But the thing is, these herdables are about to finish. Maybe there's room here for Soup to catch out just a little bit, as the villagers do sneak back. They sneak back onto the food. They get pushed back. Soup is dead set on trying to get that food there, as this Anubite does spot these gold villagers over here, and this is going to be absolute crisis now for Soup. He needs to have a hero over here, a Herso. I wanted to say Herso, and then I said hero, and it sounded like something weird. Anyways, these dwarves going to be shanking away as the Anubite retreats, but now, what really can Soup do? He's at 43 of 95 population. He's got 3 military buildings at this point with not the production to be able to do much. He's put everything onto wood to start making farms because he needs food income. He's out of gold in his home base as the army is marching in. He's got 3 Guardian Anubites, and in that moment, Soup does decide to tap out. Somehow, Shelty manages to bring this one back. I wonder what the best play here for Soup would have been. After killing off all of those villagers, I feel like Soup had this really good opportunity to just pull back and just say, look, you're going to go full send. And then you just say, I'm just going to sack these buildings. I'm going to get watchtowers. I'm going to get my farm set up. And I'm just going to be like happy with the position and the advantage that I've got from the early game. And I know that when you classical fight, you can't actually push into my base. So get your watchtowers, sit hard, sit strong, get your farms, eat all your animals, get to the heroic gauge, and then frost giants, frost, carries the way versus those Anubites. When you get onto this second gold mine, you drop that hill fort, and you go on from there. And I do feel like that damage that Suppe managed to do in the early game was enough to carry him through here by not having to move out onto this risky food over here or over here, because that's really where Suppe got punished the hardest in this game. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.